welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide on ET Now. Our guests are still with us, helping us make smart decisions when it comes to property. Now, our focus this week is Hinjewadi in Pune, and you're most likely to associate this neighborhood with large IT companies, and you're not wrong. Now, in the last few years, we've seen a sharp uptick in residential property in this space. Let's take a look at how prices have moved in the neighborhood, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Ten years ago, Hinjewadi was just a small village outside of Pune. But all of that changed with the construction of the Rajiv Gandhi Infotech Park in 2003. The technology park, which houses 20 software companies, has changed the face of Hinjewadi and made it one of the most promising real estate locations in Pune. Connectivity is another factor working for Hinjewadi. It's on the NH4 bypass around Pune, 25 minutes away from the centre of the city and 145 kilometers away from Mumbai. Developers like Kolte Patil, Paranjpe and Kumar Builders have launched integrated townships in Hinjewadi, and the flurry of activity has pushed prices up 11% in the last 2 years. Residential homes are currently priced at about 4,850 rupees a square foot here. Alright, so that's Hinjewadi. Now, we were just talking about this before we went into the break, the fact that it's received so much attention. It's really the hottest spot in Pune right now. For those of our viewers who are watching at home, wondering if this is the place to make their next investment, what's your advice?
Two things what gives me comfort, specifically at Pune and Chennai. These are two peculiar cities in India where it's not just IT which is driving the boom, specifically in the real estate space. Today, who's the buyer today? When we analyze 70% of the buyers in the market today in most of the cities are IT professionals. So good thing is when we look at in the past, when Lehman crisis happened, two cities were not too much affected. That was Chennai and Pune, because of not just dependent on IT space, they have manufacturing space and specifically auto space. Keeping in mind what Hinjewadi has developed to, and we believe that Pune continues to be a great city in terms of climate, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of dependency on multiple industries rather than one industry. Hinjewadi seems very promising, and considering the way things are at this point of time going in terms of connectivity to Bombay and lot many other things happening in terms of airport and many other things, gives us comfort that from this level we don't see one will lose any money, or maybe one can only look at upside.
What sort of an upside are you viewing?
Well, I would say annualized returns of around 15 to 18% is something which looks very promising if one is taking a 5-year view. Hinjewadi still has good options available, or you have an extended road from Hinjewadi which actually gives you lot many options. So one can look at good options which are frankly at this point of time well priced, I would say.
Jayashree, I'm going to bring you in here. We do know there's been a lot of supply in Hinjewadi over the last couple of years, but tell us what the absorption rate has been. Are there enough takers for the apartments that are coming up in that neighborhood?
Going by the demand that I see on the site, I would say that Hinjewadi areas, right now, like Om said, it's very reasonably priced. But demand is so strong that I think Hinjewadi has a very good prospect in the next 5 to 7 years, because there's land, there is development, and there is demand, which is a potent combination.
Om, if I'm buying in Hinjewadi right now, there are several different types of options from different types of developers. Would you recommend just doing the simple 2-bedroom apartment if it's an investment that I'm hoping to rent out, or should we be looking at a larger, higher bracket, go as high as you can afford?
I would say restrict yourself to 2 or 3 bedroom. 3 bedroom would be a product in a upgraded, good quality project where basically every person who's buying 2 bedroom will like to upgrade to 3 bedroom eventually in 5 years time or 8 years time. So 3 bedroom gives you a good next point of entry who are dealing with, the quality of person you're dealing with. 2 bedroom is an ideal segment where you can lease it out, you can sell it out, it can be quick decision, it can be a quick transaction which can happen in 2 bedroom. 3 will eventually give you the price advantage and the next quality of person you'll be dealing with.
Jayashree, quickly I want to come to you here. We know that there aren't too many national developers right now in Pune. Pune has a lot of its own developers, names that are possibly familiar to the people who live there right now. So for someone who's watching across the country, who's thinking about making an investment in Hinjewadi, how do they decide what sort of a developer to use? Would you recommend using one of the known names, or should we also be looking at the local developers?
I don't see a problem with selecting a developer, a Pune-based developer. You know, people like Gera, Kumar Builders, they have more or less become national developers because they are developing in Pune, Bombay, Goa, Bangalore. So they're extending their footprint, and there are also a lot of local developers. Not a problem choosing developers in Pune, I would say.
All right, good market there in Pune. Very quick question to you. Hinjewadi has run up a fair amount in the last couple of years. For those of our viewers who can't afford to buy in Hinjewadi, you were talking about neighborhoods around it that will become hot in the next couple of years. Give us a few.
Absolutely. I think there are locations like Balewadi in Pune. There are locations like specifically when you go towards extended Viman Nagar area. There are pockets in Pune even today where you basically can look for a quality 2 to 3 bedroom. Accessibility is not an issue in Pune in terms of travel time. So this belt, which is basically on the Viman Nagar belt, gives a lot of comfort at this point of time, which is still having that upside built in. And in terms of quality, also there are many such players there.
All right, so first choice if you're looking at Pune as an investment is Hinjewadi, and here are a couple of other neighborhoods that you could consider if you can't afford Hinjewadi right now. And if you want a list of properties to consider, well, we have that list as well. Take a look. But if you're looking to invest in a home in Hinjewadi, here are a few recommendations. Life Republic by Kolte Patil, priced at 5,000 rupees a square foot. Megapolis Splendor and Mystique by the Pegasus Group, priced between 4,300 and 5,000 rupees a square foot. Ashok Meadows by Peninsula Land and Sovereign by the Sarthi Group, priced around 4,500 rupees a square foot. And finally, Eon Homes by Kasturi Housing, priced at 4,600 rupees a square foot. Well, Chintan Shah has written in. He wants to invest in an apartment in Indore near the upcoming special economic zone with a budget of 30 lakh rupees. He wants to know what your advice is. Jayashree, could you help him out?
The area that he's looking at is an IT driven area, and TCS and Infosys have already invested in this area. He should be able to get properties here, and 1, 2, 3 BHK units, and there are also some plots available. Typically apartments are in the 2200 to 2700 square feet per square feet range, and you get a plot in about I think about 1200 per square foot onwards.
But if he's looking at some place like Indore, should he be looking at an apartment or a plot of land? Which one would you recommend?
Given a choice, I think a plot would be ideal, because end of the day, if you can afford a land in India, I think it's frankly very good.
Actually, I want to ask you that question across the board right now for anybody who's watching and looking at an investment in places like Bangalore or Pune or any of our smaller cities. There are plots of land being cut out in outskirts, in neighborhoods that are available from the government directly. Are these options that we should consider?
Absolutely. I think goes without saying, if from the right source, if you're buying a plot of land, I would say blindly buy it. Land is an asset which you'll never depreciate over longer periods of time. Apartments, it may so happen that building is not maintained well, the society is not maintained well, it may command premium, it may not command premium. Land always commands premium.
Jayashree, do you agree? Buy land if you can afford it?
Absolutely, but buy it from the right sources. There are a lot of non-legal sources also selling land, so you have to be very careful about whom you're buying it from. If you buy it from a developer, a development authority, or some credible source like that, please go ahead and buy land. Land always appreciates more than apartments.
All right, so land always appreciates. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but if you'd like to have both of our guests back to talk about buying land on the show, write to us. Email ID is at the bottom of your screen. Om and Jayashree, thank you so much for spending time with us this week and helping us make smart decisions. On the other side of this break, it's our legal segment. We'll talk about how to check the legal papers of your developer. Don't go anywhere.